Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus this morning has been on extraordinary young women who are not only beautiful, but intelligent, confident, and goal-oriented. We were just joined by Miss Wisconsin USA, Bashar Dore, and Miss Wisconsin Teen USA, Patience Valier. We now have the privilege of meeting Tyra McFarland, who is Miss Southern Wisconsin 2014, and Annie Jorgensen, who is the current Miss High School America. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here, and I'm excited to learn more about you. We'll start off with Tyra. Tyra, you were recently crowned Miss Southern Wisconsin this past March, and you're a media studies major at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
Yes.
How did you get involved in pageantry?
Oh my gosh. So I was actually interning with the Morning Blend. I interned with them last spring, and Tiffany Ogle, she was Miss Minnesota. And she just told me about all this confidence she gained from doing pageantry, and I was like, wow, really? I need that confidence. I want to be on TV. And actually, Kristen Gonzalez, she was Miss Milwaukee 2013. She was an intern as well, and I just seen how she had grown, and she was just so into the program. So I was like, fine, I'll try it. Let's go.
So this past March was your first time actually getting into a pageant?
Yes, I competed last April for the same title. I got first runner-up in Miss Congeniality. Competed 2 times, didn't place at all. Same like Bashar, I kept trying. 4th time I was crowned.
All right, so it's kind of like you go into the pageant, and when you place first runner-up, that of course is an accomplishment.
Yes.
But you, like Bashar, you're like, I came here for the title.
Exactly.
And you finally did get the title. What is it like going in? Do you feel like after you've competed once that you kind of know what to expect, or do things change?
Things change.
Okay.
With experience, you want to keep going as hard as you can, and that's one thing I did not do, and I wish I hadn't. The first time I did so well, so why do I need to improve or keep trying? And you've seen that in my performance. I lost both times, and then once I just full throttle, kept working hard, working out, practicing, being really involved with my platform, mental health, I won my title.
All right, and congratulations to you. And I want to find out more about Miss High School America over there, Annie Jorgensen. Annie, you're a student at Homestead High School in McFarland. Tell us more about your role as Miss High School America and how you actually got involved.
Well, I got involved with the Miss High School America organization. I've competed in a couple other pageant systems, actually the Miss America system, like Tyra over here. And so from there, one of my friends that I met had competed for Miss Wisconsin High School the year before, and she was like, this is such an amazing experience, you have to try it. So after I decided to go for it and see where it got me, and last year at Nationals, it seemed to go pretty well.
Obviously, and you are here representing in a big way. So what does holding this particular title mean for you?
Everything, because it was my first pageant. So to come back and actually win, the next day it was crown time. Where can I go? Where are all of the nonprofits with mental illness at? What do they need from me? So I was extremely excited. I could not believe it. I cried, laughed for the first week because I was so excited. Drawing plans on my board, so it was awesome.
All right, and for you, Annie, what does this title mean?
This is incredible. As I started competing in pageantry about almost 6 years ago at this point, every girl dreams of being a Miss America or Miss USA, having a national title. Yeah. And so working so hard and going through all these different life experiences that brought me to this point, it was unreal, and I've had the most incredible year this year. So
good. And you know, you were talking about actually doing this for the last 6 years. Particularly, how do little girls approach you? Because they see your crown and your sash, and all little girls want to be a princess in some form or fashion. So you're a role model in many ways, right?
Definitely. It's the cutest thing ever. My last event, I worked with SDC, and the little girl put on my slash, and I wore the crown, and we took a picture. Yeah. They want to be kings and queens all the time, all of the children, and it's beautiful just to see them look up to you.
Yeah, and for you, Annie, do you have to encourage young people to say, you can do this too?
Yes, I do, actually. Well, when I go into schools, it's all about, my platform is called The Crown Cares, Creating a Respectful Environment in Schools, which is all about anti-bullying. So when I go into schools and say, it's your job to stand up for each other, it's your job to stand up for yourself, it kind of encourages people to take their life into their own hands and make dreams and make goals for themselves and set goals and try and work to achieve them.
Yeah, and so I'm glad you brought that up because actually we talk about platforms when it comes to pageants, and that is where individuals really get a chance to see what you have to offer outside of the exterior. How do you feel inside about certain social issues and things of that nature? You talk about anti-bullying, and you're representing Miss High School America, and in high school, bullying will really school-age kids across the board. This is a huge subject, and you have actually been a spokesperson for Generations Against Bullying as well, right? Talk about what it is you say to students when it comes to bullying, and not only being bullied, but protecting people who appear to be bullied.
Right, well, like you said before, that it affects not only high school students, it affects middle school, elementary school students, it happens in the workplace, it can happen in nursing homes, really at any generation it can happen, and that's why Generations Against Bullying is so strong and such a powerful organization with the Crown Cares. And so as I go into schools, I talk about what are different types of forms of bullying, so they know exactly what it is. I talk about different techniques that they can use to stand up to a bully, like walking away, telling an adult, or just ignoring it. But also while I'm there, I try to encourage them to find the positive things about themselves, what they can do to help each other, really have them focus about the power of a positive teen or the power of a positive child.
Absolutely. And Tyra, you have mentioned as well, your platform is dealing with mental health, and you actually do some work with a nonprofit organization specifically with this. Tell us more about that.
Yes, so my platform is All Kinds of Minds. I actually just started a nonprofit with my mother and my brother. So throughout my life, I've dealt with a handful of mental illness. So we have bipolar, depression, schizophrenic, attempted suicide. So I have personal experience with all of these issues. So how do I tell my story? And that's why pageantry has been so good to me, because I can use my voice for other people to feel like I can speak on it. And actually, I was speaking to students for Career Day the other night, and they were just so full of joy to be like, I can relate to you. I have the same story. My brother is going through depression, or my mother has this mental illness. How do you deal with that? How have you dealt with that and still accomplished your goals? So it's a huge platform, especially with all of the shootings going on within the last few years, that I feel like people should talk about it. Expression is key, and I try to highlight the arts and expressing that through music, poetry, singing, whatever helps you express your emotions, you should do that.
Yeah, and with you having the scenario of mental health so close to your heart, your mother is a military vet, so you call yourself a military brat, because so you've traveled all around, and you mentioned also your grandmother. She had Alzheimer's disease, and then your brother schizophrenic and bipolar. So your goal is to spread awareness and to help people better understand, as opposed to sit back and make judgments or you know, discriminate in some cases. So what would you say to someone who is out there watching who deals with mental illness in some form or fashion?
Seek help. We have so many resources. There are unlimited. Half of them I didn't know about. And I've been volunteering with the Mental Health of America at Wisconsin. It's a great organization. They have a hub of information on their site. If you have symptoms or you want to see a therapist or a doctor, you go on their site and they will provide you with a list of resources throughout Wisconsin. The best way to do it is to talk to someone and begin to kind of go through your recovery process.
I love that. And with that said, as the reigning Miss Southern Wisconsin, you're holding a silent auction fundraising event to actually raise funds to support a nonprofit organization that supports mental health awareness. So give us the details.
Yes, so it'll be May 20th, 5:30 to 8:30, and we will provide light entertainment. We will have all the auction items out, all of the corporations who have donated. I'm so appreciative of it. The Bucks, when I met you, the Brewers, and we just have so many small businesses and community members who are, will come. We have bartenders coming, Cousin Ed from 106.9, and I'm extremely excited for that. So it'll be a great event. I'll perform my talent, which is a monologue, and you'll get to see how I really feel about stigma, because I go through that process in my monologue.
I love that. And again, the event is Tuesday, May 20th. At at Surge on the Water. That's at 102 North Water Street, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. And we encourage everyone to like your Facebook page as well, All Kinds of Minds, right?
Correct.
And I wanted to kind of get an idea. Annie, your reign as Miss High School America, it ends in July.
I know.
So you said I know.
Please don't remind me.
So what are your plans from this point on? What would you like to do in the near future?
Well, I'm a senior in high school this year, so I'm really excited to graduate. And next year I'll be attending the University of Georgia in Athens. And there I'm hoping to major in a combination of business and communications. I would love to do broadcasting or mass media communications in some sort of way. But
all right.
yeah.
So this is a good starting ground for you.
Exactly.
And another thing, we want you to encourage other young ladies who may be interested in competing the same way you have up to this point. What advice do you have for them?
I say go for it. We've heard it before. Go for it. You have nothing to lose, honestly. The first time I competed, I didn't make top 10. I didn't make top 15, nothing. But I gained awesome friends, and I gained so much confidence from that. And all throughout my experiences, I've learned how to write a resume. I've learned how to speak one-on-one with someone that I've never met before. I've learned skills to public speak in front of almost 700 people at one point. So you just learn so many great life skills that can catapult you anywhere, I believe.
Absolutely. I agree with you completely. And if I'm correct, former Miss America 2012, Laura Kepler, she was once Miss Southern Wisconsin, right? So,
bring the vibes.
So it just kind of gives everybody an idea of the stepping stones that go along with these particular competitions. So once you've completed your reign as Miss Southern Wisconsin, what are your plans? Do you want to one day compete for Miss America or Miss USA? What's next for Tyra?
Well, hopefully it's Miss Wisconsin in a month and a half. That would be awesome. I think it's really to get the word out there about art and expression and how we really need to tell our story. That's the best part about platforms in pageantry, is you're telling a story. You're telling your story. What's most unique about you and how it's touched your heart and how can you help others?
Absolutely. And when you have a passion about something, I think your message comes across even stronger, and people really feel the authenticity of what it is that you feel, as opposed to, you know, a speech that you've practiced. You really are speaking from the heart, and I think that is what really grabs the judges and allows you to stand out from the rest. So good stuff there. Wanted to quickly, we've got a little bit of time, talk about something that I think is also important. We've talked about your platforms of mental health and also anti-bullying, but self-image is a big deal these days when we look at all of the different ways that young ladies are going through social media, looking at the internet, at their favorite stars, going through magazines, and they're comparing themselves to all these images. What is it that you'd like to say to young women out there who may not be so sure about themselves at this point? What would you like to tell them?
I would say that it's not comparing yourself to a magazine or what's on TV. It's when do you feel most comfortable? I feel most comfortable when I can see my arms and they're toned and I can just flow in my dress. That's when I'm most comfortable. But if you're whatever is healthy and comfortable for you, that's what you aim for. It shouldn't be Beyonce, shouldn't be Miley Cyrus. It's where do you feel most full and fulfilled? I
think that's so important. And Annie, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I think with that, there are stigmas that go along with many different things. I think with pageantry, most people assume the women to be beautiful and completely confident. Even with football players or ballerinas or certain different professions, everyone has a stigma that they're supposed to look a certain way, act a certain way. And to be honest, I just think that for people that are feeling self-conscious about themselves or something about themselves, just own it. If you don't like something about yourself, it's okay to say, you know, I know that that's something I can work on, or that's something that I'm just going to have to live with. But that's okay. It makes me who I am. It makes me unique. And so just owning who you are and all of your imperfections is what makes you perfect.
I love that. And so finally, one last word of advice on not just young women, but women out there, period. You have any tips, anything they can take with them on being beautiful?
I think the hashtag for this show is go for it. It's whatever you believe. Tell your story. whenever you have an opportunity to tell your story, you tell it because people connect to that.
And you, Annie?
I completely agree. Just beauty comes from the inside, so know who you are, know what you stand for, know what you want to do with your life, set goals, and work to achieve them, and that's how you can be beautiful.
Oh, I love it, and I'm so extremely proud of you, ladies. Thank you for coming by today. Tyra McFarland is Miss Southern Wisconsin 2014, and Annie Jorgensen is the reigning Miss High School America. For more information on each of the pageants they represent, you can log on to MissMilwaukee.org or AmericasHighSchoolPageant.com. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues, Milwaukee. Have a great day.